Weather not too bad for us here. Hope it's not too bad for you with all the cold.
Oh, well, it was 8 degrees this morning,
Oh, that's too cold.
but now I think it's come up to about 15, 16. So it's a blistering 15 degrees. So,
Well, we hope where you are that you're stay safe and warm, and we have a lot to talk about today.
yes, and this is the long form of our podcast. We do the live shows 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and you can see those on Facebook and YouTube. But this is the long form. This is where we go a little bit more into depth on the topics.
Yes, and this one's important because I think there's a big misunderstanding of the word globalism. There's a big misunderstanding of what Donald Trump is doing. People thinking that just because he's dealing with foreign country that it is not American first, but it is American first the way he's negotiating and in a
Right,
position of power.
right, right. Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, a lot of this came across because of Davos, the World Economic Forum, which is demonized by many on the far right. The MAGA nation is very much a demonization of what it is. But here is Donald Trump going there and basically exerting American power to the other nations
Yeah,
with this. There was a lot of negotiations being done. I think the best way to get started is even just showing a small clip of what he was doing in the first place and how he just basically saying exerted American dominance over the other countries doing it this way.
I said, Emmanuel, you've been taking advantage of the United States for 30 years with prescription drugs. You really should do it, and you will do it. I have no doubt. In fact, I am 100% sure you're going to. No, 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 I will not do it. Because, yes, in all fairness, Jim, he has to double or triple. Because the world being a bigger place than the United States, it's not that you meet in the middle. You just have to go up some, and we come down a lot. They go up a little, we come down a lot. So we're at $130, they're at 10. So they may have to go to 20 or 30. No more than that.
and even after all of this time, the world leaders, the media, even the far right MAGA do not understand how Trump negotiates. They don't understand that he throws out seemingly outrageous positions to start with, knowing that, okay, that brings everybody to the table. Now we're here to negotiate. Let's start the negotiations. And that's how it goes.
Uh,
Go ahead.
even what you said, which you talked about it, sometimes the first salvo is the best one, and if you should just basically take it. I go back to Maduro. He
Right.
should have just took the deal. Maybe he would have said, hey, let me flee the country, let me go to Russia, and I'll be a political whatever there. I could go to another place, but it was too late at that time, and it was already
Right.
done.
But that's it. That's what makes President Trump very unpredictable, because that is a different situation. For example, now it was already decided, hey, we're gonna go do this, Maduro. We're coming in, we're gonna get the oil, we're gonna take you, we're gonna arrest you, and so on. However, we can offer you an escape hatch if you decide to like leave, run to Brazil or wherever. And that was Trump's best offer. And Maduro, in his mind, was like, oh, this is a fun little negotiation. Well, I'm not leaving. You can come get me.
Right. Okay. Here's the other point
That,
with negotiation that just broke. The United States, in framework, have the acquisitions of parts of Greenland. It costs the United States nothing. So this is
right,
the breaking news with this. You have to remember, at first Donald Trump put the trial balloon. Hey, maybe the people of Greenland will be with us, and each one can get $100,000. Think about that. A family of a mother and dad with that getting $200,000, and this is the people of Greenland, says, oh, we want no part of the United States. That's off the table. We just got it for free. Basically, they're giving us the United States, any land we need under sovereignty of the United States to put our military bases there. All the other parts, they stay Danish or whatever, independent. But that's off the table, this $100,000 per person there.
Right. And what nobody understands is this. Currently, there is only one very, very tiny small part and section, not even a section, a little piece of Scotland where there is one port where all of Europe's nuclear defenses are. And if we were to help Europe, or if we were to protect that area, that is where all of our nuclear ships or battleships or submarines would have to dock. One little all of Europe, they got one small little area in Scotland. That's that's Europe's defense of the Arctic Circle. Meanwhile, Russia is all over it. They've got the ships, the submarines, the missile launches. They're all over the place, and Europe has one little spot.
Right, and it goes to show you, Dave, that this has been a plan of Trump's for a long time.
Oh,
this
yeah.
Golden Dome. Remember, Trump already ordered, I believe it was 9 icebreakers. We have no icebreakers.
Right.
We don't need it. Russia has all the icebreakers. We just ordered 9 because all of this is important because it's for the national defense. It's for our national security. Because of that region, we showed it on our live show, the importance of that region, because Donald Trump even said that all the missiles will come in from that area from the Russian side. And the other side is with Guam, which is a United States territory, is the other part of the anchor of the Golden Dome. It just shows you once again how Donald Trump in negotiations, where all the media is saying, oh, he's so stupid, he doesn't know what he's doing. And then you have the MAGA crowd on the far right saying, oh, he's not doing anything for America first. But it's all coming together.
Yeah, so you would almost think that the MAGA crowd, the MAGA posters and commentators and influencers are actually working with the left to kind of stifle the Trump administration's agenda, which we voted for. This is what we voted for. So now what many people are going to miss, and I'm glad you brought up Guam, because what many people are going to miss is that we have strengthened our military alliance with weapons and so forth and so on with Japan, because Japan counters China in that area of the world.
Right. And here's the thing, Dave, I wonder what it is, whether in high school I just didn't pay attention because it's been over 100 years since Guam was a United States territory. But we never talk about it. We never know about it. No one's speaking of it. But this place is perfectly situated to the other side of Hawaii, where we can have, or we do have a military base there, but we have the ability to anchor that side with the Golden Dome, and then the other side with Greenland, which we needed. And Dave, to add to it, we, George Magazine, have been really the only ones saying that in Venezuela, the importance of it was not to avoid another Cuban Missile Crisis. And no one talked about that.
Well, all of the ding-dongs are talking about Venezuela and election. It's so preposterous. The whole point of Venezuela and for the United States to secure Venezuela and get Maduro out of there is because, like you just said, Gene, to avoid another Cuban Missile Crisis, where the Russians could have nuclear missiles that are very close, a rock's throw from Florida, right there in our own hemisphere. So all of that has to he's got to move all of that out, and he has to secure Greenland and so on, so that once we enact the Golden Dome, we have no real visible threats within the hemisphere.
Right. On my other show, the Gene Ho Show, I just did a whole program on the Golden Dome. And one of the things is It's already in operation. The big, beautiful bill already put the down payment, so to speak, to start building it. And the best thing about the Golden Dome, I use the illustration in my show, Dave Blaze, that it's similar to a person building the house. The house might not be completely finished, but you can move in after a time and say, okay, we don't use this bathroom, but we could use this bathroom. The other one's still being renovated. In 2 years, it will be partially operational as is continuing to be built. But in 2 years, it'll be like move-in ready, where yes, it's not done, but it's operational to a certain degree.
Right.
So this is right on target. Please,
yeah, that's beautiful. And let's not forget that the Golden Dome, by default, will also protect Canada, right? So to be the spiteful little brat that he is, Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, promptly works out a deal with China, some kind of a trade deal with China for electric vehicles, whatever. Now, remember, part of the USMCA, part of that was the exclusion of China from being one of the major traders between Canada, the United States, and Mexico. So now you see what he's done. Prior to the review, I think it's in July, right, Gene?
Yes, we talked about it. Right. Which,
so
if I could just,
Canada goes and establishes a new trade deal with China to kind of muck up the works.
Right, and we talked about this on the show, the live show that we have Monday through Friday on YouTube and Facebook, American Podcasts. We talked about the size of the Canadian military as far as expenditures is about equal to what we, the United States, spend on the ICE.
Right.
For $30 billion is the budget for ICE. 30 billion plus maybe like 1 million or whatever is the budget for all the Canadian military, and they get a free ride.
Canadian military, right?
They get a free ride with this Golden Dome, and that's why Donald Trump, now that he secured that, is basically like, you want to play ball or don't you want to play ball? Hey friends, I want to tell you all about the Dispatch. First of all, it's free. What you do is you go to georgemagazine.com, go to the menu, and look for the Dispatch. Once you sign up, what you get is every morning, Monday through Friday, you get an email sent to you with all the latest stories so you can get your day going fast. Just browse all the different stories that was personally curated by me, Dave Blaze, and the rest of the George Magazine team. So very simply, just go to George Magazine, sign up for updates, and you'll get your day started with all the latest news. Welcome back, everyone, to the American Pulse podcast. A lot of stuff to talk about, especially at George Magazine. Of course, you've seen the Dispatch that we have now, but also a lot of things going on. Our websites are going to get a facelift. It's going to be really neat what we have going. Yes, big facelift. Big
facelift's coming up very shortly. Yes. And
also,
you go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to speak about this. GeneHo.com is going to get a facelift as well with that.
Yep.
A lot of great content. And remember, thank you for dealing with us during this time of growth. It's been done for an expansion. As we mentioned before, the George Magazine, when we first started, was a format that was not conducive to the big bookstores. They contacted us saying about the formatting. We made the adjustment. It took a while, but we are ready for a growth spurt here at George Magazine. And really excited about all this.
Let me just say this while we're on the subject. We are George Magazine. Other people claiming that they might be some kind of magazine, or they only look at the first run of George Magazine or whatever it is. Since the relaunch, we are going on 4 years of publishing magazines month after month after month. And these are not pamphlets like these others are. These are actual full-blown 100-plus page, phenomenal quality paper magazines, which have articles in there that are almost transcendent.
So, Dave, I keep saying that, but it was more than 2 years ago. We have a reporter on the ground in Nigeria reporting on the persecution of Christians. This was before Donald Trump took office a second time. We said in that magazine how Donald Trump was keenly interested in protecting the interests of Christians. Who knew once he came into the office, he already bombed Nigeria to protect the Christians there. And we had this article 2 years, and we have an update coming from our reporter in Nigeria, on boots on the ground with pictures of what's going on. So
yeah, absolutely.
This is really good quality information, and we're talking about things that back then no one, like, why talk about this? Well, it's back in the news today. All right.
100%.
Dave, Blaze, with this, the other amazing thing about Trump's visit to Davos is he exerted American dominance and reminded everyone, and it was almost, I love it because it was almost like, oh, by the way, we could do this, this, and that, so you better be careful. It was almost like threatening the other nations, or just putting it out there. Hey,
Well,
you got to listen to what
You remember, play the clip, and then we'll talk about some other instances in history where this has happened.
And the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about. 2 weeks ago, they saw weapons that nobody ever heard of. They weren't able to fire one shot at us. They said, what happened? Everything was discombobulated. They said, we've got them in our sights. Press the trigger, and nothing happened. No anti-aircraft missiles went up. There was one that went up about 30 feet and crashed down right next to the people that sent it. They said, what the hell is going on? Those defensive systems were made by Russia and by China. So they're going to go back to the drawing boards, I guess.
All right, I love that video.
So let me just capsulize this. First of all, the president brings up this particular instance for several reasons. One, to show America's strength, and that we can, when God allows, we can exert our will anywhere in the world at any time, right? So that's point one. The other point is he's a salesman. So he's up there letting all of those other world leaders know, hey, if you want quality weapons, we're the guys that have them. You know? Because,
right.
Go ahead, Gene.
Reminder, and you used this illustration before. This is the United States, constantly upgrade our materials, our weapons. And I get it, because many might say, oh, it's a military industrial complex, and they're doing all this stuff, and they're just, no. When you do this, we get the new equipment and they get the older equipment. So that way we always stand on top. It's basically like upgrading your car. You get the latest and greatest, and then you sell the older model to whoever. And this is what's going on.
What was so infuriating about the people in MAGA complaining that we were sending weapons to Ukraine. Oh, we're not going to have anything for ourselves. We're depleting all of our... No, we're moving out the old stock so that it makes room for the new, the new better stuff to come in. And that's what we did.
For the first time here, Donald Trump actually explained whatever this technology is that no one ever imagined. Who would imagine? And he said this thing like it was like a Wile E. Coyote moment where they press the button, we got him in our sights, the missile goes up and it comes back down and drops like Wile E. Coyote with the bomb. It's just fascinating stuff.
And he also said that that their equipment got quote unquote discombobulated. So what that says to me is we had some method, or we have some kind of technology that pretty much freezes their equipment and jams them up so that we can enter at will and so on, and they really can't do anything about it. They might have gotten off the one, but even that one that they got off was faulty and went right on top of them.
We don't know what it is. Again, we talked about this before, but the fact that in Fort Bragg, they have a life-sized replica of Maduro's mansion, that they practiced it. The fact that it was not leaked, so that, oh, well, guess what? Oh, what's that in that building over there? The fact that it wasn't leaked is just amazing. And the fact that no one knew what this technology is also amazing.
Right. And you know what's really shocking? What's really shocking to me is that the MAGA podcasters in Thailand didn't get that high-level info, high-level intel that this was happening at Fort Bragg. I mean, Gene, can you imagine? They didn't tell these guys in Indonesia what's happening here in the United States. I can hardly believe it.
You know, the other thing with the new, right, the new technology. The other thing, this is what Donald Trump talked about and what he can talk about. Right. You know, from Top Gun, we had the F-16. That was the latest and greatest. I think the new technology, I think, is the F-22 Raptor. Is a new type of F-16 of what we would remember from the days of Top Gun. The next one is the 47. Of course, I'm sure is named after Donald Trump. But Dave, these are airplanes that have like moons, drones that fly with it. So whatever you do, the backup system, drones fly with this plane for whatever, for attacking, for decoy or whatever. But could you imagine an jet plane flying, and with it, it's almost like drone-ish Blue Angels following it to do whatever it needs to do. It's fascinating what's going on here with the technology.
I know. It really is. And you know, Trump is funny because I was watching an interview that he did exclusively with Maria Bartiromo on Fox Business. Anyway, he was saying that you know, we order these planes and missiles, and the defense company comes back and says, "Oh yes, okay, Mr. President, we'll have that for you in 4 years." And he's like, 3 or 4 years? What are you, crazy? I need it next week. And you know, they're making tremendous amounts of money. So he says, I've been encouraging them. You got to build more factories. You got to build more plants. You got to build more storage. Come on, guys, you got to get on the stick. You want all of these contracts and everything, and then they come to the federal government for all the funding. Besides that, so anyway,
right?
And Trump is pushing everything.
Want to talk about this because in Israel they had the Iron Dome, which is like a close range. They have the David Sling, which is a little bit further, and then the Arrow 2 and 3. What they did, this is Israel, when they found this technology and whatever they spent on it, they were now selling these to the Finland. So they're giving their technology probably dumbed down a little bit. But as the United States has all this military equipment, they ante up, and now they get the leftovers, like the old technology, which is valuable to them. It will be no match if they went up against the United States, but these are to the allies that they have the lower generation type of equipment that they have. Yep. And so the United States benefits in many ways by doing this.
Right. No, this is, we have a tremendous cycle of military expertise and so on. So when you hear like we're selling weapons over here, we're selling weapons over there, and so don't get concerned that we're ever depleting our own stock.
Right.
Now that did happen in the past. That did happen under President Obama, and so on. But not now. Certainly not now.
All right. So what you have here, Dave, give us a glimpse of what's happening next. Remember, Trump went to Davos and already negotiated. He even said we pay nothing for it. They're basically saying what part of the land you need here, it's yours or ours in the United States, because we do need it. Everyone wins, especially if you can believe it. Canada wins because they'll end up being protected by this as well. But now that this is done and we're moving into, I would say, the next phase, what do you foresee happening with Donald Trump and his direction with America? Or what do you think his focus will be for the next couple of months?
All right. So the biggest focus for the next couple of months is going to be marching toward the midterms. So you are going to see many of the, well, first of all, we know that the left is going to be trying to drum up every possible thing against Trump there is, because they frankly they don't like the guy. They don't like the guy, period. So no matter what he does, they don't like his hair, don't like his tie, don't like his jacket, don't like his shoes, don't like his socks, how he talks, how he tweets, how he posts. They don't like anything about him. So no matter what great news comes out, they will find fault with it. Then you will also find the black pilling nihilistic MAGA influences that will continue to try and chip away and have the Trump administration bleed out like by 1,000 cuts by constantly saying nothing's happening. They didn't arrest this guy. They didn't arrest that guy. Oh, and they didn't fix the 2020. Like, I can't vote. I can't. See, that's what you will hear on the far right. The whole thing is this. We have an economy right now, believe it, and you could check this, is growing at a rate of 4.5% to 5%. We have not seen numbers like that, Gene, in 45 years. Then on top of that, we have all of this good stuff going on with our trade. Our trade deficit is shrinking. Now we've got control of Greenland. We can push back against the Russians up there in the Arctic Circle, thwart their advances. And then on top of that, we have so much more growth coming. So between the MAGA influences on X, the left, and so on, they're going to try and stop you from continuing to support this administration. We have to vote in the primaries. If you have a primary in your area, vote whoever President Trump is supporting and endorsing, vote for that person.
Right. And really quick, if I could say this before we finish up, when it comes to that, go by who Donald Trump is saying. I mean, that's what you should be looking for, because it's so easy for people to say, oh, this is a rhino. Oh, this is deep state. Well, the point is, though, what is their voting record? If you are for the Trump administration, what is this person's voting? Or are they trying to find a weaker candidate to try to primary that person? So this person is so not palatable to the center that they're like, I'm not going to vote. We already talked about this whole thing with AOC winning her district, but yet Trump winning her district. So the quality of your candidate, how they being an incumbent, does make a difference, especially if they're voting Trump's way.
Yeah, what you're getting at is that in Representative Cortez's district, the 14th district in New York, which is a section of Queens, the people in that district voted on the top of the ticket for, Donald Trump for president, and then the rest of the ballot was Democrats. So she's trying to figure out why. And let me also make the point that Harris and the Democrats did not then say, well, that election in that area was rigged, because who in the world would just vote for Trump and then the rest is all Democrats?
Right. And if anyone should understand that, it should be MAGA Nation, where they say, oh, I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican, I'm just whatever. That's what they did. The people said, what is affecting me the best? Well, we feel Donald Trump is better for this area. And at the same time, they're like, well, AOC, she's already a congresswoman. I know her. I see her in the district. So they're voting for who is best for them.
Right.
All right. Dave Blaze, a great show. Once again, reminder that we're doing this show. This is our marquee show. This is once a week, but Monday through Friday, we have a show on Facebook, a live show on YouTube. 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us again. Dave Blaze, stay warm, right?
It's 8 degrees.
Thanks for checking us out. Don't forget to go to georgemagazine.com and sign up for the Dispatch. It's free. Get the emails and the news stories. And check us out Monday through Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can check us out on Facebook and YouTube. We'll see you then.